Okay, so our render is done. 11 minutes. We started off our render about 7 minutes per frame. Don't know what we added to make it 11, probably reflections, I guess. Anyway, comparing it with this one, yeah. So we decrease the light to 20. I think actually like 50, because there's like a stark contrast between the background, dark background, and then the light, bright phone booth. So kind of catches your attention. So I think I'll change it back to 50. Although the 50, this was the one where it has 50. Or maybe 100, I'm not sure. Maybe 50 or 100. Anyway, the rest, this looks nice and dark. What else did we change? The rain is fine. And I guess just the light then. And the floor. Oh yeah, we were supposed to look at the leaves. I think that's a leaf. No, that's a puddle. Can't see any leaves down here. Oh well, I'll fix that. Anyway, we can see the sky. We can really see the sky well, actually. Yeah, I'll just change it to 50, and that should be it. I think we're done with the scene now. I'm gonna go ahead and render out the whole animation, I think. Let's see if we can get, maybe I should move this back here. Just need to see this one leaf. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and render it, and the reflections are alright, the lighting is fine. So I'm gonna forget about the trees and stuff. I'm gonna give it one test render overnight and see how that looks of the whole animation, and then we can come back to it and see if any of the animation needs tweaking, because I'm not sure if we might need the wheel or something to be animated or what. So I'll take a look at that now and come back to it. So yeah, we can kind of see that it's a leaf, but you know what, I think I'll manually place a few 4 or 5 leaves in the area that I want them to be seen. That's probably the best thing to do. Okay, so we're gonna render without any render passes, without anything, just to check. We're not gonna go with all that mist pass and anything, just checking the animation with our render. So our render starts and the guy leaves over here, the car comes in, we have our light flickering over here, and the guy in the background is moving. This car comes into play, and this car comes in, and then this person back here is walking, and then she gets hidden behind that, and that's it. Now we have our buildings over here that we have enabled in our render back here, and we'll just see all that, the trees and everything. Let me go ahead and decrease this intensity a bit more, 0.5. That should be fine, and render. So we don't need a full render actually. I'm just gonna go with a 50% render on saving this to my folder. Let's make a new folder, test renders. Oops, test renders and test. Okay, and we can make it PNG, that's fine. 30 FPS. I guess that's fine, although cinematic is 24 FPS. Not sure how that will affect my scene over here, but cinematic quality is 24 FPS. We can render it out at 30 or 24, it won't really matter. I think I'll render out 30 and then I'll convert it 24 FPS in post. And 80 to 280 render region, obviously 50%, and should take only 50% of the time. Let's go ahead and render this out. So let me go ahead and add our images to our comparison so I can tell where we are. Let's see, 17, 18, 19. Okay, this is our latest render. Let's see, 17, 18, 19. So this is nothing wrong here. We changed this back to 50. We have the good reflections and stuff. And then we have this flickering light. It might be a little tight. Yeah, let's decrease this. Actually, it'll be flickering, so it's fine. Got this man, and compared to something like this, everything is in focus, and so is it here. But then we add the depth of field, and it does make it look a lot better with the depth of field. And over here, depth of field, over here we have this glow and like gradient, high intense light over here and a decreased intensity over here as we go further away. In this, it's not as sharp, I'd say. I kind of like this, so I might try it in Eevee the next time. Apart from these lights, which are disturbing, actually I could actually turn these lights off, the two green ones, because we're supposed to be able to see the red and the yellow anyway, and decrease the bloom maybe a bit and render an Eevee. See how that works. And then over here we changed the background a bit, and this is with depth of field and this is without, and clearly you can focus on this a lot better, so depth of field is the way to go. So let's go ahead and render this. I think this is good to go, and we can render this as is. So render and render animation. Let's save it. Render animation, see how that looks. Hey, so we're in Premiere Pro now, and we have completed our render. So let me go ahead and import that, so we can check out how it looks. Let's see, test renders. We can import it as an image sequence, and then you don't really have to render it out. We can just check it from here. So let me go ahead and oops. Okay. Ooh, nice. It just buffer once and then it'll be smooth. Still not smooth. Could render it out if it doesn't buffer properly in the next. Yeah, let me go ahead and quickly export this. It'll just take 1 second. Test is fine. Whatever, export, 9 seconds. And done. I think it's on the desktop. Nope, where is it? Test renders, downloads. Here it is. So we need to critically analyze this right now and then go back into Blender and make the changes. First of all, the thing that I see, if we can move frame by frame, the rain. First of all, the rain looks epic. I think it looks awesome. Really good, really realistic. It might be, I'd say the streaks are a little too long. Doesn't matter, I guess we can change the motion blur settings a bit, although it's fine. The rain is good, and I like how it looks almost as if it's interacting with the floor, although it's not, but it looks as if maybe there's some kind of changes if you look on the ground. And you can see the reflections of like this car moving past in the water, you see? Like, right. I can't go frame by frame, so let's go back in Premiere. And if we just move this frame by frame, let's see, somewhere around here. Yeah, so we see this reflections, nice reflections of the car. We get a bit of the HDRI on that as well. And it's so dark, I never noticed, so you can't really tell about the wheels moving. We get some nice reflections on the window. And that's fine. This car is fine. The next car, this car, lights look fine. Can't see the wheels, so that's fine. Get a bit of the reflections on the HDR on the windows, and can't tell of the wheels. And the first car that crosses back here, I'd say lights are alright. Could be more realistic, these lights. Wheels, can't tell, it's too blurred. And that's it. We can see the green light reflecting over here, so that's good, I guess. The motion blur kind of handles the rest. That's good. Now the flickering of the light, let's see. That's not looking good. Let's see. We can't really tell. I guess it's too fast. Decrease the frequency of this. You can hardly tell. And you can hardly tell if it even says anything, I guess. Nikon and the other thing. Come to think of it, I might want Nikon to be emitting some black light, maybe, just so we can experiment. Let's go ahead and look at our people who are moving. This guy moving in the rain. He looks kind of slow, to be honest. I don't know why. Okay, this guy in the background. He's moving, and then we reset him. That's fine. Oops, and then we have the other one over here. This woman walking. Subtle details, I guess. We can see the traffic light on red, which is kind of weird because our car just crossed this area anyway. And I like this tree, fire hydrant, nice light going back here. And background, can you see any leaves? Can't really tell. This is a nice thing. It might be too high. I'm gonna have to check this. This is a bit too high, maybe. The rain looks spectacular, especially with all the reflections of these lights. It's really looking awesome. You can even see the reflection of this back down here. Nikon. I might want to add a few more of these. I don't know. And can we see our yeah, we can. Let me just go over here. Can we see our buildings at the back there? Can almost see them, I guess. Doesn't matter because we changed the angle. Now everything looks really good, I'd say. Coming to the actual thing, which is the phone booth and the camera movement. Now looking at the camera movement, I don't like it. I don't like it. Don't know what it is about the camera movement. Everything else looks epic, and maybe our telephone booth actually doesn't look so bad even on frame 1. The detachment I was talking about doesn't look that bad. Firstly, I need to change the telephone to make it a little more rusted, or I don't know, not so black. It just looks off and too perfect. Secondly, I don't know, maybe this should be swinging a bit if someone just left it. But seeing our scene, no one's to be found in the area, so we don't know who left it. And it kind of doesn't make sense having the telephone booth start from the center over here, almost center, and then by the last frame it's too close and too much towards the right, I'd say. Because if you look right here, kind of zooms in, let's say there's someone talking, and this angle right now, it's kind of like sliding. The camera's kind of sliding. This movement is fine. I guess I'm going to need to change the camera movement a bit. I'm not liking this. Don't want to change it too much, but I do want to make some adjustments to it. I just can't really put my finger on it, on what's wrong. We can see these light bulbs, these globes that Blender makes when you look at light objects through the glass, but it doesn't look so bad, I guess. And this pink color is kind of strong, and it doesn't really go with the whole theme of our setting. So I'd either change this to green, blue, red. I could change it to red. Let's change this to red instead. Let's see, and we change the so what's wrong with the camera angle right now? This guy looks a bit off. I'm not sure if I should keep him, or maybe I should replace the umbrella lady back here with him and have him run. Maybe I can swap them out, because he's kind of slow on that. I like that we have different speeds of the cars. Like this one's kind of slow and this one's kind of fast, just by a bit. Gives more realism, especially because that's more of a sporty car, and we can't really tell if we don't really need those volumetric lights and stuff. I'd say it's the phone booth. Maybe it looks a bit too plain, or I'm not sure if it's the depth of field. Everything except this phone booth part, or even this looks good, except like this bottom half looks really realistic and good and convincing. Let's see if we can maybe edit this a bit. Again, I think it's with this last like 8 seconds a scene, like last 4 seconds. It's like we can already see the telephone in full view at about 2 or 3 seconds. In 3 seconds. So the next 5 seconds isn't really revealing anything. It's just kind of a slow pan this way. And I'd say that maybe we should, instead of making it slide after like the 4 second mark, we should have it zoom in, keeping this in the middle, and zoom in to the telephone maybe. Let's see what we can do. Let's go back into Blender and have a look. Okay, so we're back in Blender and we need to make some changes. First of all, let me go ahead and change the, it's going to take a while to And you need to change the settings or the materials on the telephone. Maybe make it rusty, maybe make it grayish, I'd say. I could make it yellow actually. Nah, black is good. Black seems mysterious. And the other thing we're going to be looking at is changing the intensity, I'd say, because I don't want to make any more test renders, to be honest. Although it's fine, we could, but we're pretty much done. I mean, it looks pretty good, and we should be moving on to post-production now. There's just something that's off that we need to fix first. And I think I should just change the camera angle, because the camera seems to be moving. Let's say this is where our okay, I'll tell you in a bit. Let me just fix these materials on this. Whoa, what does this have on it? I don't even see anything complicated. It looks pretty much all metallic. Why is this even metallic? Metallic does make sense, but we're mixing this metallic with this metallic. And what's this? Black. And what's this? Something to do. Let's see if we can remove this, and what changes do we get? It's just a simple phone, I guess. That doesn't look so good. Maybe I can add a color ramp to this so that we can tweak it a bit. We want more whites. See, like more rust or whatever this is. And probably not even white, more like a brown. Actually, white and grey looks fine. Something like that. We can move it something like this. That's fine. Is it in the roughness as well? Nothing is in the roughness of both of them. That's maybe the problem. This is in the metallic, this is in the specular. This is not supposed to be in specular, this is supposed to be in the roughness. Because it says roughness. This is metallic, that's fine. Aha, that's a lot better. Doesn't need to be so smooth. Let's duplicate this, insert this in here. Huh. Not much of a difference in our roughness. Well, that's because our specular is on 0. Now we can definitely use this. So right now everything is shiny. And now we're gonna make everything almost not shiny. Let's swap this around. Everything is dull and some parts are shiny. That looks good. Or should we go the other way around? Something like that. That looks better. Okay, that's fine. Wait a second. What happened to our... Where did our telephone go? Save that. I don't even know what it was called. Huh. Weird. I could just make a new one, but I'm too lazy and I don't know like if that looked alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this, and it will take some time. I'll go check what name it is and then I'll append it if I can't find it, which is fine, and which is a good reason to have different file versions as your backups. So if we go back, this is with the volume that we didn't need. This was called NURBS path. Okay, in the rain collection. So let's go back and search for our NURBS path in our rain collection. NURBS path. So we just disabled it, but it is there, so that's fine. And we should probably move this to our main scene. So that's all right now. Okay, so we've changed this. Let's go and change this a bit. If we go to the settings and graph editor. So this is too much, too little, I'd say. Let's see, because it needs to go up and down way more. I need to decrease the brightness of this. I'd say it needs to go up and down way more. So let's see. Scale is fine. This needs to be way higher. What's depth? Don't know what the hell depth is. Don't care. Offset. Don't need offset. Replace. Add. Replace is fine. Does it go to 0 or not? This is like 1, 2, 3. It only goes up and down a few times. I guess that's doable. I guess it doesn't matter even if we go, even if no one can see it, it's not something that's going to be so visible anyway. Let's go ahead and change the color to red or something. What else did we need to change? Save that. The cars were good. The cars were fine. Maybe this one could use a bit of some editing, I guess. Now we do have lights inside of this, right? So we can maybe change this. So that only these are, whoa. Yeah, that's what we want. This and this to be yellow. So let's go ahead and select all these. Why can't you select it, or is it just so slow? that I can't see. Don't think so. This and this and this. Oops. Not that. And this and this. That's what we need to add. Add this new material to assign, and let's go ahead and check. This is the light, right? Let's assign material 22 this as well. Material 22, and let's put this on as glass. Oops. Wait, glass 001 was it? Yeah. Okay, so we have that as glass and this as... So let me go ahead and render this and save it and see how that looks like real quick. Nice, that looks better, I guess. Wow, that looks really good. I don't know what this is, but it's all glass now. This is all white for emission, I'd say. It looks miles better. It's not even a close-up, but I guess even from far away it will look better. Let me change this too, and we should be good. Okay, so we have to select this one, and this one, and this one, and assign it to our assign that. Let me change the name of this. Emission headlight. That's good. Okay, so now we have this as a nice headlights on this car. The other cars were fine, they're perfect. Can't see the wheels, thank God. It's a nighttime scene. And depth of field and motion blur, so hides most of the imperfections that we have. And obviously we would have done those if we were working on anything that's on a bigger scale or more important, I'd say, or something along those lines. So we've done that, we've done this. This car looks fine. I'm gonna change, replace these two kids. Let me go ahead and bring that one over here first. Where is she? Move this 180 degrees and we can just have her move from here as well. So if we just go with this, move this to the front, yeah, I guess that's fine. And we can move this dude back here, turn him 180 degrees, move him here, and we can move this over here somewhere. So we see him moving. Where do we see him? We should see him last, I guess. It's an awfully small window we have. I could put him back here, even less visible, or just get him out of the way completely. Maybe if I start him about here, and then he's moving, and then he stops. Why is he stopping? We don't know. This is where he should be stopping. This is where we don't care if he stops. So maybe I move him a bit closer, then we'll start seeing him from here. That's no good. So let's move him a bit further. So when we see him at this point, that's when it should start. And then weird. I could just get rid of him. I'll put him somewhere in the background here, somewhere we don't care about. Let's see, he comes into action here, and that's fine, I guess. Even if we start him up over here, have him run over here, and then go behind that. It's like 50 and 80-ish frames. Oh yeah, we're gonna be changing our camera angle anyway, so I guess we don't need to work on this right now. So let's go ahead and work on our camera angle now. Okay, so we're about to change the camera angle. The angle is fine, but maybe this last bit can be changed a bit. We could add a subtle amount of camera shake, I guess. But if you look at it from above, this camera, it's the movement of it is right now it's facing our, this is our phone booth, right? Yeah. So it's now facing our phone booth, and as it goes along, it kind of, in the last few frames, it's more of a movement instead of, in the beginning it's kind of curving in and also moving, but soon it starts almost just a flat movement without much rotation. So either we can rotate this as well to get more of a, I'd say the same kind of movement going as it was, but that would cause us to be like this, cause us to, that would look really good actually if I could end it on this note, more on the emphasis on this. But there are no buildings over here, and we have this car that stops here, and kind of can't make it really go into infinity. Actually I could maybe make it turn. if I make it turn, that could work in the background, like it'll be blurred out anyway. So that could work. If I just move it about here, that should be fine. Let me go ahead and try that actually. Select the camera and location rotation. So now, if I go from here, now it's zooming in. Is that a more natural, do you think, movement? Still too much, I'd say. Too much of a movement. I think it needs to be very subtle. It doesn't need to be such an extreme, like something like this. That's it. Like that's supposed to be the whole 200 frames. Just a little bit of a zoom, a little bit of a dolly. I'll try this once. I'm gonna have to definitely take another test render. Okay, let's stick with this for now. Let's go ahead and, according to this, set our scene up back in the background. Maybe copy one of these buildings back here, and it looks super weird, like so many similar buildings in the same area, but I guess that's common, so it doesn't really matter. And we gotta fix the color of the Empire sign and change the light a bit inside that. I might actually try a spotlight, maybe turn this street lamp into a spotlight. I don't know, maybe put another one down here just to check if maybe it puts more emphasis on our telephone receiver. And also we need to add some camera shake, just a little slight camera shake. That could make it look good. Oh, while this is loading, let's go ahead and change the color. So select color range. Let's go ahead and select this, and I wonder if this fills it with a darker red. I cannot. Here we have replace color, and let's select this color. And wait, don't I change the color from here? No, change the color from here. Nice red. Did that change it? I guess it did. Except this part, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and save that. That should update back here. If not, we can just go ahead and reapply this. Did that change or not? Still seems pinkish. Maybe even darker. Yeah, I guess that's fine, but because of the emission, it's acting a bit weird, but that's fine. Doesn't matter that much anyway. Save that. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out our light over here. Let me see if I can maybe add another one of these over here. Change this to spot, rotate this and make it so it's higher to the side a bit, and rotate it like this. Nice wide spotlight. If you want to see the cone, that's fine. Decrease the size of the cone, blend it a lot more. 150 is fine. We could try this. If I turn this down to 0, and what's this? Let's see how that looks on the first frame. Just render this much. Go ahead and cancel this, don't need this anymore. This looks odd. Let's disable the show cone. Yeah, that's not enough. I don't know, I tried it before as well, but spotlights just don't give enough lighting for some reason, even if I change this to 1,000 or 10,000, 20,000 or 1,000,000. Yeah, I don't. That could look dramatic. Let me try it with the whole scene for a second. See how that looks. It looks bright on it, I guess. It does look a bit more cinematic. And it kind of does make this kind of, but it's very bright. It's not realistic to be bright, and we are kind of going for realism anyway. Even at frame 240, where we were supposed to be able to see our scene. Weird. It's too bright. Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, let's ditch that plan. What do I have selected anyway? Ditch this plan. Turn this back to 50, and we can add, oops. And we can add, let's see. Is 50 too much, do you think, on our scene? Is the lighting too much, or is it alright? I think it's, for a telephone booth, it is kind of high. The lighting is very, I'm trying to make it contrasted so you focus on this, but I guess if it's like a spooky night and no one's around, this should be flickering and this shouldn't be as strong either. So let's go ahead and reduce this to 20 as we tried before, and go to our graph editor and put a keyframe on the power and have it add a modifier on it called noise on the power. Let's see, where is it? Okay, so we need to replace it, and right now it's flat on 20. we needed to go down here to 0 at least as well. Let's click on normalize. Where is it then? Don't know where it went. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're adding a noise to it. Not just over here. We need it to go back to 0. Let's see. Subtract. Phase. Offset. Multiply. Place. So let's keep this on 0 then. That makes no sense. And now if we add a noise modifier going up and down from 0. Oh, I think that's what I did wrong with the emitter as well. So now, but this is supposed to go at least up to 20. So let's go ahead and scale this up. 20 at some points, 30 maybe. Yeah, that's about right. How many times? Way many more times. How about 5? So in this small amount of time that we have, from 80 to 280, it's gonna go up and down 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess that would work. Okay. Whoa, 338 megawatts, are you kidding me? Isn't that bright? Let me see. Let me just see how bright this is. Just go and render this much. Render this much and go ahead and click render. By now it's 4 watt, which is basically nothing. This should go up to 50 max, I'd say. I need to get this right because, ooh, that looks nice, nice and dark. So as I move this along, let's see. Whoa, what's this? Minus 830. It shouldn't go less than 0. Huh. It should go up and down from 0. So minus is just gonna be wasted, I guess. Max is, we've seen, is 32. I saw it here. So 32 is fine. Looks okay. Looks nice. Looks natural. Not too much. Let's see if we can limit it, maybe, so it doesn't go below 0. Let's see. Restrict frame range. Now offset. Replace. Add. Huh. Add could work, but then it'll stay on a baseline, I guess. Doesn't really touch 0. Subtract. Definitely not multiply, and definitely not replace it. Phase, who cares about that? That's scale. That's depth. Ooh. Yeah, we don't need depth. Offset. I think there's another modifier called limits. Minimum on the y-axis is 0. Aha. So it doesn't go lower than 0. And as soon as it does, it kind of pushes back up. So that's good. And minimum is 0. And maximum, we don't need the maximum. So now if we go ahead and scrub through this, this is going from 10, 0, 3, 30, 35, 0 for a second, 28. Go to 896 megawatts. You kidding me on this? Isn't that bright? Really bright. I hope I'm wrong. I don't believe anything went as high. I can just put a limit on the maximum as well. Maybe have it maximum at 50. That should be okay. Oh, it's milliwatts, not megawatts. Stupid me. That is fine then. Let's go ahead and switch this back to our timeline. Now we have a nice light, a better looking light, hopefully. What's next? Camera shake. Let's go ahead and edit the graph editor on this too, since we now know what was wrong. Wait, we don't have this anymore. Set this to 0. And why can't I see this? Weird. Okay, so we'll fix this. Decrease the intensity of this. Have this swinging, I'd say. Maybe swinging, or just a little bit of movement, maybe some kind of a bounce, or just maybe just even for half of it, just up till here so we can tell. And that looks all right. And it'll up-res our resolution at the end anyway, so that's fine. Background's looking solid. Maybe some ambient occlusion. Now, where is the shadow going? There's not really any shadows for this. Slight shadow here. Ambient occlusion could have dirt on the edges of these, maybe. I could try that. With the ambient occlusion node. Let's see, this has nothing on it. Why? Why doesn't it have anything on it? Oh, 0, that's why. No, a baseline of 0, I'd say. Baseline of about 1 at least. Or like 0.1. 0.2, something like that. And why can't we see the... It's going negative, which means it's going blue. That's so weird. Clear keyframes. 0 or 0.2 and I. That's weird. Why can't I see this? Maybe I'll go ahead and open one over here. Graph editor. Emission. So now I see it all of a sudden. So weird. Okay, so where is our timeline? It's supposed to be on 0 point something. And let's go ahead and add the modifier, which is noise. And how many times in how many minutes? Way too much. Oops. Scale of 0, huh? Let's say that's about okay. Like dun, 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 dun. Maybe like 20. Let's give it a bit more. 20 is fine. Let's give it 5. If it goes to about 2 at the most, which is mostly 1.5-ish, 1-ish, let's go ahead and give this 10. So it's 4 at the most, and usually about 1 or 2. Definitely not negative, so add another limit, 1 minimum 0, so that it stays there and comes back up as soon as it touches 0. 0 is it? No, 0.5. A minimum of 0.2. That's good. I like Blender. Maximum of 4, I'd say. That's good. That's good. Save that. And with the dope sheet still open, we gotta put some noise on our transforms. Let's see, we want noise in the Z direction, not in the X direction, because we don't need it going jittery up and down, I'd say. Just a little bit on the Z. So let's go and Z location. And Z rotation, nah, it's not the rotation because it's way too there it is. It's constant and it kind of goes down a bit. So let's give it some noise. Make some noise. That's way too much. That's way too much. Still too much. That's enough. And something like 20. I don't know, camera shake could just look really bad if it's not done well, I guess. Definitely not more than 0.1, and I can change this to 15, I'd say. Maybe I should add some camera shake. Let me copy this and add it to the X location. To the X location. Weird. It's good that there's almost none in here. Point 2 is good, and add it to the Y as well, maybe. Point 1 is okay too. Maybe have this be at 20 and have this also be at 20. So how does it look now? Camera shake. Could look good, could look really bad. Either we keep this or we just go with no camera shake like before. We're not gonna meddle with this any much more than it already has been meddled with. Okay, let's go ahead and save that. So we have our camera shake, we have our emission, we have our light fixed up. Let's go ahead and set the background on this. So this kind of scene needs to be created. Let's go ahead and select all this and duplicate this. Oops. Duplicate this and object mirror Y global. Oops. Mirror X global and move this about here and say just so we can see a bit of that. It won't really matter what it is. And let's see if we can see our skyscrapers in the background. We can move this just a bit here even. Now we can see our skyscrapers in the background. That should look good. I think we're good to go. Let's see. We changed our camera angle a bit. We changed the camera. The cars looked fine. Let me go ahead and check our render again. This is going to be flickering now. This is going to be flickering way better, and change the red a bit and decrease the intensity. First it was at what, 20 or something. Now it's at 2. I don't know. We changed the lights on this so they'll look a lot more realistic. And when we have the sound effects and stuff, no one's even gonna be able to tell. This is fine. That's good. And just like that's fine, I guess. So let's add the swinging pendulum movement, and then we are done. We actually made textures on this too, so this is the hard part. Let's say if I go to our front camera and add a shape key. Add one of this and then add another one in which we can move this here. Actually, let me turn on this one here and here. Move this a bit inwards as well. Let's say it straightens out a bit. And on this one we can maybe move it a bit here with our so it's going from here to here like this. Huh, weird. This is the same as this. So let me edit this. This is supposed to be somewhere around here. And straighten this up. So then it's like this. Okay, we can add let me go ahead and keyframe this. Starting from here, keyframe, and I can swing in about 1, and then I can go ahead and where does it say make cyclic? I think it's in the graph editor. Channel, make cyclic. So now I'll keep on going like this. That's a bit fast. Oops. We need to add a return point to that. So let's cancel this make cyclic, and 120, it should come back to its original location. Now we can go ahead and make it cyclic. That's good, but at 12 FPS it's going to be twice as fast as this. Now I want this kind of speed on it, so let me go ahead and move these along the x-axis. Move this to, so instead of 20, let's go to 130. What is this? 120 actually. $120, and then another 40 is going to be 160. So this will be slower, but at 25 FPS that should look fine. So over here, location, rotation as well. Let's go ahead and keyframe the rotation a bit. And location, rotation, and then add 120, was it? Yeah. Move this over here. Move it a little outwards. I wonder if we can see it. That's fine, I guess, though. And location, rotation, and at 160. It should go back to its location with a nice rotation back to its original location, and make cyclic. This should move with it. That looks good. Let me go ahead and copy this and paste this here. And location, rotation. So now there is no kind of cut. Oops. There is, I guess. Copy this. Paste. Why is there a cut? That makes no sense. Oh, it's not on frame 80, that's why. That makes no sense as well. Copy and paste. So this. That's good. Now it's continuous. And even if we look at it from our that's a lot of camera shake. It's still too much camera shake. We'll fix that in a bit. Let me just go ahead and see if I can close this, insert and extrude it inwards, and then another insert, and just a little bit of modeling so we can have this closed off because we can't see it now. Insert and extrude inwards and insert. That's fine. Not sure if the textures will be messed up or not, so I'll check that in a bit. Let me quickly go and select my camera, go to our graph editor, and point 1. This is point 1, this is point 1 as well. This is 15. I think I'll make this 20. Shouldn't be that much. And this is good. X and Y is, where is it? Y. No, Y is green. Green's down here. Y is 20, it's fine. Okay, that looks good. Let's go ahead and move to rendered preview mode, and then we can check it from here.